Welcome back, everybody, to the Creating Character podcast. My name is James Willems, and I am a longtime podcaster, recently turned professional wrestler. But now that I think about it, I've been doing it for a couple years. So we might have to update this intro. Also, this podcast is a year old today. You heard the celebration. That's coming from our producer, Eric. But first, before we get to him, I want to introduce my co-host and friend, Scorpio Sky.
Yes. 1 year.
Yeah.
Eric, isn't this crazy?
Listen, the last time we did this show, we only got like 12 episodes. And then this time we said, well, let's just keep it going. We're just going to keep it going. For a year we've been doing this. It's been a lot of fun.
12
this has been great.
Always
looking forward to it.
Well, there was a show, and then there's a break, and then there was another show.
The first show we did more. We did a lot.
We did a bunch.
But we've talked enough about the first show.
No.
Let's talk about this show. So yeah, I mean, a year later, it's super interesting. It went very fast.
Yeah.
And just kind of thinking to where we were then compared to now. You know, I mean, our first eepisode we were talking about. You know, I was sitting at home and
yeah, I know. Yeah.
Things have changed.
Yeah.
So much.
And look at you now.
Things have changed. Kind of.
Hey, I'm wrestling on Friday.
Hell yeah, I love that. I thought about coming by last week actually.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, MPW.
You should.
One of these days I'm just gonna pop in. So if
Do it.
there's any MPW fans watching our show, hopefully there are, I'm letting you know. One of these days, I'm just going to pop in and have a match.
Oh,
so
baby.
you got to go every Friday because you never know when it's going to happen.
I'll be upset if I miss it. If I'm not booked, I'll be pissed. No, yeah, super. This podcast is so much fun. Like, I wish that we could say, and along the way, we really figured out what this show is. But I think some of the fun is that along the way, we figured out that there's a lot of things that this show is, and that's kind of what makes it interesting.
More than that, I wish that we made millions off of it.
That's true. That's true. It is a money pit.
or thousands.
Or hundreds.
Or hundreds.
Tens?
Singles?
Yeah, I'd say, how low can we go? They eliminated the penny.
Is the penny eliminated?
I think we're done with the penny.
There's no penny.
No more pennies.
I didn't know that.
No more penny.
So
it's gone.
No idea.
We got to round up to a nickel.
I think it's pretty cool that we're doing this show. James knows what it is to have a podcast that kind of just keeps going, and you kind of like lose the steam with it and everything. And there are so many shows that start and they don't get past episode 4.
Yeah.
Because when you think about doing a podcast, you think about, oh, it'd be so much fun to start a podcast. You don't think about what it is at episode 50, right? Like, and that's what this is. Like, we figured it out and it's a lot of fun. And the thing that we really figured out is that we like drafts.
Yes.
Oh,
the
there it
drafts
is.
have
Yeah.
been awesome for us. They are a blast. I think Sky really likes them a lot.
I enjoy the draft. The drafts are a lot of fun.
If you're just joining us for year 2 of the Creating Character
Holy
podcast,
cow. Year 2.
Year 2. Someone want to take a real quick crack at what a draft is? Explain it real quick. Eric?
Explain the draft. Guys, welcome to the Creating Character podcast where we do a draft, and that draft can be anything. It's in snake order, and we are picking, no repeats, the greatest things of all time. This time, we're actually doing a draft to celebrate. You guys are like kind of a tag team. Never really worked together, but, you know, whatever.
I could see that.
So, we are going to celebrate with the greatest tag teams of all time.
Yeah.
Scorpio Sky, renowned tag team wrestler. How are you feeling about this?
I was thinking about this on the way here because I was thinking about just using all teams that I've been in.
Wow.
I was going to pull an Eric with the Jeff Jarrett thing.
That's better than the Jeff Jarrett thing. But
But I thought about it, and I was thinking about the teams I've been a part of, and I am one of the greatest tag team wrestlers of all time.
Yes.
I really am.
I guess we'll find out.
I am
when
one of the
these
greatest.
lists.
I had a lot of people may not know about this, but the first team I was ever part of, the Aerial Express, the 2-time back-to-back Southern California Tag Teams of the Year, the only PWG Tag Team Champions to never lose their titles. We were an inspiration for the Young Bucks, as they told me early on. And, you know, because we were very innovative and had that similar style. Wish we could have got an Aerial Express, a.k.a. the AXP, against Young Bucks. That would have been amazing. But and then you move on to Frankie Kazarian and I, Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, the first ever AEW Tag Team Champions, SCU, legendary group and team. And then you move on to the Men of the Year.
Yeah.
The Men of the freaking Year. Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky. We were incredible. And then I've got all these little makeshift teams. You know, Luke Hawks and I are still, to this day, the XPW World Tag Team Champions.
Right.
Never lost those
Congratulations.
Yeah. That's like
never lost those belts, never defended them either.
That's like
But-
how I still tell people that I'm the BCWA World Heavyweight Champion, which I wrestled in a backyard in my teens. So.
I am the EWA heavyweight champion.
really?
It was the I can't remember what it was called, but I still hold that championship that I won in 2009, I believe. And I've still
Yeah.
hold it.
Well,
Ray Rosas used to tweet every year at one point. It'd be like, Scorpio Sky has been the EWA champion
Really?
for like 5,600 days, whatever it was.
that's amazing.
He would tweet it like every year, every 6 months.
Yeah.
But anyways, we got a lot to get to.
Yeah.
I'll
We
stop
do.
praising
We do.
myself, but I mean, I just had to put myself over. I'm a great singles and tag wrestler.
Let's see how
I
many
agree.
times you
GOAT
show up in the
status,
draft.
man. Legend. I'm a Hall of Famer.
Let's see in the draft. The
Let's
draft
see.
determines
Well,
all. So let's
let's see.
see. We got our.
Let's see.
I have my list
Okay.
here. So
I got my list.
we'll see.
Remember, no repeats.
All right.
Mhm.
And it is snake draft stylies.
Get my list
So
ready.
we will go 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, back and forth. We all have 4 picks. We're making our Rushmore here, boys. But in order to figure this out, it's always Sky James Eric, but we got to randomize. And guys,
Yeah.
how many times do we randomize for the tag teams of all time?
2.
2.
Right? I feel like 2's the right
2
one.
is the right
so,
one.
so starts Sky James Eric in the first shuffle. Sky Eric James.
Oh.
There's no
But-
way it
but
stays. There's
It won't
no way
stay.
it stays.
So I'm not first.
It's gonna swap
All
me
right.
and you.
Second shuffle,
probably is.
and here's the order. Eric,
Oh,
Back in the middle.
no!
Sky James.
This is
That
kind of the order.
that is
Dang
so
it.
insane. How?
This is
How is
that's
it
a
ever
Oh,
huge
boy.
advantage on
Okay.
this one.
All right. I don't mind going back to just single picks.
I get it.
The double
get
picks was a little intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
the last time.
This is actually kind of tough. Going first is very intimidating.
Yeah.
Like I've got everyone, and there's no. Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You can go ahead and pick Man of the Year. It's all right.
Oh,
Just say it.
I'm gonna pick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick Aerial Express.
Aerial Express, but we were great.
I'm gonna
You're
pick
great.
We're gonna get Quicksilver
Areola
and-
Express.
Go
That's a
back and look at
different
our
tag team.
PWG. Go look at the
I was
PWG
there.
matches we had.
First time I ever saw you was in a tag team match.
Go watch
like-
Masks versus Titles. Chris Bosch and Scott Lost against the Aerial Express.
I'd
I guarantee
wa-
it's one of the best matches.
I'd
you'll
watch.
ever
I
see.
just don't own a VHS player, so
It was DVD. It's DVD.
But my problem is my DVD doesn't read DVD RW.
I don't
yeah.
have a DVD player. All right, Eric.
Well,
sorry.
okay, I'm gonna make my pick, and
Yeah.
I don't think it's controversial. I think this is. I think these are probably gonna be high on your list. I think high on everyone's list. It's gonna be Rock and Roll Express.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going way back. These guys were the blueprint
Yeah.
for tag team wrestling through the 80s, kind of out of vogue in the 90s, and then back heavy in the 2000s.
And now.
Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson, undeniable
Yeah.
greatness as a tag team. Like the best heat, the best babyface comeback. Those hot tags were incredible, and their stuff with the Midnight Express was just like untouchable. I just think that I don't know that Ricky Morton will ever stop wrestling if he doesn't have to.
Yeah, if he doesn't have to. Yeah, that's a great pick. Genuinely one of the greatest tag teams of all time. Can't argue it. It's unquestionable. And the fact that Ricky is still going, still looks good. They both still look good. They're doing conventions. Ricky's doing shows. He's got his son wrestling. Just absolute legends and have inspired a lot of others, including myself along the way. Great first pick.
What tag team was the first to add Express?
That's a good question.
Because it feels like it's a thing. Like we
Yeah.
know it. Like it's
Well,
something
that's where we
something
got
Express.
Aerial Express from.
For sure,
We were
yeah,
big,
yeah.
We were big Rock and Roll Express and Midnight Express
Yeah.
fans. So
Which was the first
Um,
team to do that, though?
Wow,
I don't
that's
know.
a great question.
That is a
if
good
you know,
question.
get in the comments.
Yeah, get in the
Let us know.
comments.
That's how you do that, James.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
gotta
Google
it's a
it.
little engagement bait. There
Nice.
you go. Well, Sky,
Yeah.
you have your first pick.
My first
Who
pick.
do you have?
My first pick is not hard at all. It's going to be
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
Road
it's-
Warriors.
Yeah.
It's Road Warriors
I
all
hope
the way.
you're
They
able to
were
hear
they were
that.
my 1B.
That's my first pick, man.
That was
The
my number
listen,
one.
A team that was your number one.
That was my number one.
A team that was so over. A term was created, the Road Warrior pop. Everybody wants the Road Warrior pop. Animal and Hawk, Hawk and Animal. every time these guys popped up when you were a kid growing up, it just leveled everything up. You were excited. As soon as you heard that track kick in, crowd goes nuts. They come out maybe on the motorcycles. They had the spikes on their shoulders.
Yep.
Just so cool. They were both jacked. The face paint, the hair, they cut great promos. They got in there. They beat people up. There will never be another Road Warriors, man. Loved those guys.
Yeah. Except for Road Warriors 2000.
Yeah, LOD 2000.
LOD
yeah,
2000 was the same ones.
Let's get
It was
right
just
and
they just
right.
added Sunny and masks.
Yes.
Yeah.
They just added Sunny and masks.
Incredible. A testament to how over they were was it was the 80s and Hawk would no-sell a pile driver
Yes.
and everyone was into it.
Yeah.
And that was like we're not doing that. Like in 80s wrestling, that's like that gets over like now. That was not happening then, and I think that rips
Yeah.
that they were doing it then and everyone's just going, these are the coolest motherfuckers in the world.
And
I
they
think
were,
it's so
man.
awesome.
They were awesome. I mean, in my mind, when you say tag team wrestling, I still just picture that. Like when someone says picture an apple, you know, what kind of thing, or picture a fruit, what kind of fruit do you picture? When someone says picture tag team, I picture the two of them and the countless number of kids who were doing the doomsday device in the pool or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's the first thing you learn to do.
Yeah.
So,
The story of them doing it to Vince.
oh
at
yeah,
the bar.
yeah,
I love that. Yeah, it's great. It's a good
So
pick.
cool. Great haircuts too. But James,
yeah.
you
James.
have
That
your
was my-
first pick. And you also have, because it's a snake draft,
Yep.
you have your second pick as well. So you got back-to-backs, James. Who you got first?
Okay, so Road Warriors was my my number one pick. So I'm going to
Mm.
drop down to my second pick, the Hardys.
My second pick as well.
Oh, wow.
Great pick.
Yeah, I think
think
undeniable.
fantastic.
Like, it's to me, it was kind of a which one do I pick between the two of them, and I settled on Road Warriors because it's so iconic. But I really think the Hardys came at a time when tag team wrestling was maybe a secondary thing. And they were so underrated. Like they almost kind of showed up like jobbers, but they were such a great tag team that they not only elevated themselves, but elevated the whole division.
Yeah.
And I think since then, people have been chasing the Hardys in a lot of ways since they came onto the scene and just took it over. So
I'll add on to that, and I'll actually go a little farther and say not only were tag teams they weren't even secondary at the time. Tag teams did not, and if you go back to the Attitude Era, tag teams didn't mean anything at that time.
Yep.
Their whole thing with tag teams in that time was let's get two guys together and see if one of them gets over.
Right.
And then he can become a singles guy. And then here come the Hardy Boys. And they just caught lightning in a bottle and they inspired so many. It's the reason why I had them number 2 on my list as well.
mm-hmm.
They inspired so many people. And obviously they had some legendary matches with some other teams that I'm not going to name because they may come up on the lists.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they just, again, tag team wrestling,
Yeah.
innovation, the look, the music, they were cool. They were just cool, and everybody wanted to be them.
To your point as well about they weren't two individuals, despite having fantastic individual personalities, and you can see that with their ability to wrestle solo careers as well. They wrestled in a synchronized way.
Yeah.
Like the way they tagged, they brought it back. You see a lot of it in the Young Bucks now, where it's like they're moving, they're weaving, their moves build on each other's moves. It's just all one unit, one force of nature. Just excellent team.
You're talking about the innovation and what they brought to tag team wrestling and everything. Talk about the longevity.
Oh yeah.
They're still working.
Well,
and everyone
yeah.
was like, "Oh, this is like a crash out style. Like these guys are never going to last. They're going to burn out. Like how can Jeff be doing all this?" They're working. It's 2026 and they are still working.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And another thing too, to that point, is that when they're coming out, they're like 20 years old.
Yeah.
You know,
Just younger.
Jeff was
like,
wrestling as like a jobber
Yeah.
at like 17 or whatever.
17?
Yeah. I don't even know.
But
Yeah, he's
but
like
coming
underage.
out as a tag team, they're like 20,
Yeah.
21 years
Unreal.
old or something. It's
Unreal.
crazy.
Yeah.
So
Crazy.
Incredible pick. Great pick. But James,
pick.
you actually have
Another
your
pick.
second pick. It's back to back. Who
Yep.
do you have?
I'm gonna go. I got another set of brothers,
Oh my goodness.
the Steiner brothers.
Oh,
The Steiner
Ooh,
brothers.
Such a good pick.
that's on my list.
So
As well.
I feel like they were wrestling as a tag team when tag team wrestling was more of a thing, right? So they're kind of dealing with the Road Warriors and stuff like that. But it was one of those things where at the time you go, oh, they're the regular guys.
Mm.
Like they're not wearing spiked shoulder pads. They're not doing this. They're not no face paint. They're the regular guys that come out and one of them barks like a dog. Not a big deal. You go back and watch their physicality.
Ooh.
They're
Oh yeah.
it's remarkable. And again, the way they wrestled as a unit, a different kind of thing than the Hardys. Giant, powerful moves just crashing you to the mat. But the way they wrestled as a unit was pretty remarkable. Plus their ability to go take that style WCW, WWE, into Japan, and they could adapt. They just tweaked it as much as they needed to.
ECW.
ECW, they went everywhere, and you know, they were just power players everywhere they went. So
Yeah, there's something to be said about the teams that went everywhere and were successful everywhere they went. And the Steiner brothers, I've said it before on the show, they inspired me tremendously when I was a kid. I always wanted to be a professional wrestler. And originally, and I'm talking, 4 years old, 5 years old, something like that. My original thought was, oh, my brother and I are going to be the Steiner brothers when we grow up.
Yeah.
And, you know, the fact that they, again, traveled everywhere and they were so successful and they had such a great look. You know, they were both jacked and they were different, you know, because Rick and Scott didn't unlike the Hardy Boys and like the Legion of Doom, who had similar looks. You look at Scott Steiner, he had the long hair, good looking guy. And then you have the dog faced gremlin.
Yeah.
He's got the headgear, he's got the beard, he's like you say, he's coming out barking. Amazing skill set for both of them. Awesome. And then it carries on today as their sons are getting the business. So it's like the impact they had, undeniable.
Yep.
Guys that were on my list, if they had never gone solo and they were just the tag team and everything, I think they would be talked about just as much. They
Yeah.
were just so instrumental in tag team wrestling through the 80s and the 90s that, I mean, they're incredible. Innovators.
I would say maybe the only reason they're not talked about more is because of Big Papa Pump being such a successful
got
transition to
so
solo
big.
wrestler. Like
Yeah.
it's so you're like, oh, it's kind of like a Shawn Michaels type situation where you're like, oh my gosh, well he went to the out
Well,
of
it's
the
different
atmosphere.
eras too.
Yeah.
It's different eras because the Steiner brothers were huge in like the late 80s and through probably until the mid to late 90s. And
Yeah.
then here comes Big Papa Pump
Yeah.
and a completely different like genre of fans, the late 90s and into the 2000s where it's just, you know, and he was so successful.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So there you go.
Great pick. But Sky, you have
Yes.
your second pick.
All
You're
right.
in the middle. So what do you have?
So this team was going to be a few notches down my list, but since I lost the Hardy Boys, which was my number 2 pick, I am going to bump this team up.
Okay.
And I am going with the Young Bucks.
Wow. Okay.
2 very good friends
That
of
was
mine.
Okay.
my next pick.
You can't deny them either. I mean, they are genuinely up there with the Road Warriors, up there with the Rock and Roll Express, up there with the Steiner brothers. Obviously, I am biased because we've been friends our entire careers, but I've watched them grow from a couple of guys training with us in the backyard to superstars. And if you go back 8-9 years ago, I don't know if there was any tag team in the world other than the Young Bucks that can genuinely headline and sell out an arena by themselves.
Yeah.
They were that big.
I agree.
I think because of the success of AEW and how and the amount of stars it's produced, people have kind of forgotten how big the Young Bucks actually were as standalone characters. The Young Bucks were huge and they did a lot. There's no AEW without the Young Bucks. We're talking about guys that had t-shirts in Hot Topic.
Yeah.
and they're not with WWE. They're not with a big company. I mean, they were just global phenomenon. I've been on the road with them. I've seen the lines they have all over the world of fans that are just lined up to meet them, and the success of being the elite. They are genuinely like one of the, in my opinion, and that's why they're on this list, the top 4 greatest tag teams, and not only tag teams, one of the greatest wrestling acts ever. And they get a lot of, or maybe they used to get a lot of like hit for being like spot guys and that sort of thing. But if you really watch them, specifically starting with their run in New Japan, again, maybe 10 years ago, they really tell a story. You go back to those New Japan matches where Matt he had the back injury and they were just working the back every single match, and his selling was incredible. And then you move forward to today. I mean, I watched them with FTR, which is again another team that may come up on this list, equally just up there as all-time great tag teams. We watched the story of the match they had at Revolution in Los Angeles with their family at ringside, and I was just so blown away. And I've watched them wrestle for years, and I've seen them have hundreds of matches. I'm still blown away by the matches they had. So that's why they're on my list.
Yeah.
Easy,
and they
easy
paid
pick.
me. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, there you go.
That's right.
They paid me to put them on.
We got to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Smart
Yeah.
guy. Smart guy. They were my next pick if you didn't grab them. When you're talking about getting knocked for like the flippy stuff or whatever, they changed the way wrestling psychology was in like tag team matches over time in a way that like people couldn't comprehend, and now everyone just bites from what like they were doing with you guys, with a lot of other teams in that era. And what they did, I think, really well was take every negative and turn it into a positive. Every time they were booed for something that wasn't deserved or whatever, to sort of take that and turn it back, own it, and become those guys, and to get this over that way. They're just so smart. They're so like wrestling minded. It's phenomenal to see. It's great.
Yeah, they're
Great
brilliant.
guys.
They don't get enough credit for their minds.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
They're like,
great.
what the hell?
What, guys? That takes one of my picks off the board, which is
Yeah.
rough. That's
Yeah.
hard. Don't be so happy about it. I get 2 picks in a row, and so now I'm shuffling my list a little bit. I'm gonna go with a team that maybe at the time had a short run, but they're back.
Okay. Yeah.
Edge and Christian.
Christian,
Of the
Cage,
3,
and Cope, right?
Cage and Cope.
yeah, Edge and Cope.
Yeah.
Cope and Christian. Don't worry about it. They are, I think, of that like TLC Attitude Era team grouping. Those were my guys. I loved Edge and Christian. I loved the character work that they did. I loved the in-ring stuff that they did. They broke up, and I was fans of them individually. And every time you could just get a taste of them doing tag stuff together occasionally. And then now on the run that they're on, I'm really excited to see like where it goes, what they're doing. Like, I didn't think in 2026 I would be invested in Edge and Christian reunion wrestling tour, but they're wrestling FTR, and it's like, this rocks. I'm so into all of these matches, all of their stuff. I don't know, like, you have to be in the ring with someone a lot to get so smooth with your offense together, and they're incredible the way they mesh. They're just phenomenal wrestlers, separate but together. I think one of the greatest teams of all time.
They're so interesting, and I hadn't thought of them initially at first, but then was like, oh yeah, like maybe put them in there somewhere, because they're iconic singles wrestlers. You know, they are kind of what you were talking about. It felt like the Hardys burst onto the scene and they said, oh gosh, we got to put some people together because we need some people to go with against the Hardys. And so Edge and Christian, being pretty good real life friends, seemed like it was a good fit. But they still, even at the time, it felt like they were singles wrestlers that were like finding a story reason to start tag teaming together. And you would think that would make them a less effective tag team, like a less effective single unit. but it's so obvious that here we are 20 years plus later, and the two of them are kind of like having their late career runs, and then we're like, are they going to wrestle together? Are they going to do this together and be excited about that?
Yeah.
You know, you don't feel like you're missing out on what their solo runs would be, right? Like, how are they going to land their own planes? But them landing it together is like, oh yeah, no, they are like part of one team. And I think that's a testament to how great they are together, you know?
Yeah. Also one of the greatest acts in wrestling history, because if you think about it in terms of multi-time tag team champions as a unit. So they reached the highest of the high as a tag team, but they also reached the highest of the high as singles wrestlers as they both went on to become world champions. That has not happened very often. I can only, off the top of my head, think of one other team that were tag team champions and then individually at some point became world champions, and that is Bad Influence. Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian. Christopher Daniels was the Ring of Honor World Champion. Frankie Kazarian, just a few months ago, was the TNA World Champion. Does that make me the loser of the three of us? but we'll fix that. I'm going to fix that. But yeah, that's the only other option or the other team that I can think of that went on to become world champ. Both guys.
Yeah.
I believe Matt Hardy. Did Matt Hardy win a world title? Maybe the Hardys as well.
Yeah, maybe the Hardys.
I think that might be the only three. Maybe I'm sure there's more out there.
There might
be
more.
Section,
there might be
know.
more. Yeah.
There's probably other teams that did it, but it's not common where both guys go on to become world champions. Get in the comment section. Let us know who else did it. But yeah, that's a great pick.
Yeah.
Thank you. I feel good about it, but I also feel good about my next pick because I had to shuffle my list around a little bit, getting Edge of Christian up and everything. This one, I wonder if people are going to think this is too high up for these guys, but for me, they were the guys in the 2000s who worked everywhere, won titles everywhere.
Aerial Express.
And it is the Briscoe brothers.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
13-time Ring of Honor tag team champions. Incredible run as tag team wrestlers. I think they wrestled on ROH's like first ever show in like 2002. Just wanted it so much. Were guys that could prove it every time. I don't know that there's another team through that era who I believed would just stop wrestling and fight if something went wrong more than the Briscoe brothers. They just looked like they were ready to throw down at any time. And Sky, you know them very well as you wrestled probably a handful of times maybe?
Oh yeah. I've had singles match with Jay. I've had numerous tag team matches against the two of them. One of my favorite, and when I say one, I mean the two of them, one of my favorite opponents ever. You know, just that perfect mix of rough but safe and believable and fun and physical, and they're so good. And I love wrestling guys like that because if you know, Frankie and I had a feud against them, and one of the things I always pointed out was like how different we all look. Like Frankie and I had a similar look, and then their look, and we just look so different. And it's a perfect type of like, yeah, I can see why they're fighting each other.
Yeah,
I can see why they're fighting each other. You know, and yeah, them boys, great pick.
It's a great pick.
Just sad with Jay, but Mark is having a hell of a career right now. I mean, he is just incredible, so over. Crowd loves him. It's so fun to watch him kind of carry the torch and see it keep going. But Briscoe brothers for me are the 2000s tag team for my pick, and I just wonder if maybe it's a little high on the list. But
I don't think so. I think they definitely. I think that they were in the runner-up section for mine. But I definitely was like, I hope they get mentioned. Otherwise, I will bring them up.
You win 13 tag team championships in a major company.
Yeah,
then you've got a claim.
Yeah,
for sure.
I agree. But that's my pick. Sky, you have your third pick. We're getting down in this list, boys. What do you have?
I'm going Harlem Heat.
Okay, I knew they were coming at some point.
Yeah,
I knew they were coming at some point.
They were, 9-time tag team champions in WCW?
I believe that's right.
Yeah, again, Harlem Heat, man, they were an awesome team in the 90s. Everyone watched Harlem Heat. Everyone loved Harlem Heat. They had the freaking roof raising. They had cool gear. They had Sister Sherry, you know, like just the really cool, great matches against the Nasty Boys, against the Steiners. Just a legendary team that definitely, you know, I enjoyed and took inspiration from growing up. So that's why they're on my list.
Yeah. Great. They had just a great look too.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
again, it's one of those things where it felt like
Great music.
they were wrestling at a time when maybe the tag team division, you never seen a main event tag team match.
Yeah.
Right. So they would always be on in the first hour or something in a Nitro, but you'd be like, oh, this is going to be a good match.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, I hope there's no commercial break on this one. Here they come. They like a team that elevates the division, and it makes it kind of undeniable in an era when you could see promoters and bookers being like, we don't know what to do with tag teams, you know? So,
Yeah.
Right.
I think you could show a younger generation Booker T's tag team work, and they would have no idea it's Booker T.
Oh,
He is so different. There are shades of what he sort of becomes as like a singles wrestler, but when you watch him as like a tag team wrestler, he's a totally different guy. And he has a real mindset for tag team wrestling. Like their timing is so good. Like when to get in and out, when to move the match along. Like those things that aren't just, all right, let's get in there and wrestle. Like we'll pair off and we'll just do 2 singles matches. It never felt that way with a Harlem Heat match. They always had a good match.
I think Harlem Heat you can show to a non-wrestling fan, and if someone's like, oh, you watch wrestling, like show me a match. You can show them a Harlem Heat match, and they're gonna be like, yeah, these guys are real. These guys are legit.
Yeah.
They come out talking shit to the camera. Their music, they look like badasses. And I think one of the criterias that I have for my list is, can this team go in any era? Can I see Harlem Heat in the 80s against the Rock and Roll Express? Can I see them today against FTR or the Young Bucks or whoever? And they fit the bill. So that's it.
Absolutely.
I
Great
agree.
pick.
Well, Harlem Heat off the board, James.
Yeah.
But you have your final 2 picks back to back. Who's going to be your third in this draft?
It's a new day. Yes, it is.
Oh,
My pick.
I'm
You've
going
taken my
the
pick.
New Day. Now, people are going to say there's 3 of them, but their accolades as tag teams speak for themselves.
okay. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think and it was awesome. Also great because no one really thought of them as a stable. Everyone thinks of them as a tag team that just kind of swapped out the bits and pieces when it was great. Their long run as the tag team champions, I feel like we talk about what elevates that division. It's one of those things like the Hardys, you know, like all these other teams where you go, man, they're real over.
Yeah.
As a tag team, we got to get some tag teams on our TV program so that way they can have people to wrestle. Like when you're thinking of like how you can just find other people to wrestle, I also think like as a trio, they're all so different and iconic.
Yeah.
You know, Xavier Woods was always, it always felt like people talked about Big E and Kofi. Kofi's coming from a prestigious solo career already, joins this team. Big E immediately catches your eye, and Xavier Woods kind of in the middle, but his personality shining through. He went from being the trombone guy, you know,
I love the trombone,
to being like, holy cow, these matches he's putting on and stuff. And we don't have to get into it, but the fact that they had a heel turn, a major heel turn, they've had major setbacks with Big E's injury more recently, and then a huge heel turn that was like one of the biggest moments. And people were like, give us more. Like the audience was demanding something that we weren't even seeing being booked is just crazy to me. I just think there's just the three of them are such, it's the Triforce.
Yeah.
Right. It's the Legend of Zelda Triforce. They have all the elements. And I just think, man, just such fun matches, such great personality. Even when they're not even wrestling, when you guys are just going to host WrestleMania or
so
whatever.
good. Yeah.
It's like normally those kinds of things, you're like, oh, this is the point between matches where we have to tolerate the sales pitch of whatever this. But when it's them and they're doing their thing, you're like, oh, this is so much fun. Just, I don't know. If we talk about wrestling as all of the showmanship, they were just they had everything.
They check every single box.
Every single box.
They're going to have the best match of the night.
Mhm.
They're going to have the best promo of the night. They're
Yep.
going to get one of, the, if not the biggest pop of the night.
Mhm.
You're going to have the most fun watching them.
Yeah.
They check every single box.
Yep. Absolutely.
Excited to see what's next for them because they are, I mean, just phenomenal guys, great wrestlers. As a tag team, revived a whole division, rose from the ashes of something where it looked like they were destined to fail, and then
Mhm.
just grabbed victory.
There's
from
another
the
one that
throes of
became
defeat.
world champion. Sorry.
That's what I said.
Biggie
that's
and,
great.
and
Great
Kofi.
point.
That's what I
Great
wasn't
point.
gonna. But that's
You
what
didn't
I
want
was
to give
thinking,
your
'cause
pick
I was
away.
like,
Yeah,
I
that's
was like,
another
gonna
team.
mention it, but
There
I
we
was
go.
like, there's at least one more that I
Yeah.
can think of.
The comment section was probably blowing it up.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Damn, hey, New Day off my list.
Mhm.
That was going to be my final pick. But James, it's time for your final pick. Who is your fourth on your Mount Rushmore?
Dudley Boys.
Oh.
Dudley Boys. The original Briscoe brothers in many
You
ways.
got to get the whole I'm glad the entire TLC match made this
I agree.
list.
I agree.
Actually. I'm
Yeah,
very
yeah.
happy with that.
I believe there's a Z there. Dudley Boys.
I think there was on Hardy's too, right?
All right,
Guys.
fine. Anyone else need a Z on here? Jesus.
Aren't they the Young Bugs?
Okay.
The
Dudley
Road
Boys.
Warriors.
They're one of those teams that, because I didn't have easy access to ECW. Like
Yeah.
I was following WCW, WWE, and ECW would be the things I'd read about on the internet. And Dudley Boys was one of the things like, did you see these Dudley Boy and I go, no, I didn't see the Dudley Boy matches. Like, and then I remember when they were like, they're coming to WWE. It was one of the things, like Jericho. Remember those huge moments in the 90s and the 2000s when they were like, trades happening, people are coming. And I feel like, as iconic as Jericho's was, I think that may be one of the biggest debuts in professional wrestling history. Right up there with it, for me at least, was the Dudley Boys. When they first showed up and they did their 3D, and they just such a great thing. And also, a couple years ago, I went back, I was like, I wasn't there from the beginning. And I read the history of how it was just kind of a a whole messy, stupid gimmick that was like almost an inside joke that bred these two guys to come out of it. Spike Dudley, also great. Shout out to Spike Dudley.
Big Dick Dudley.
Yeah, all
Hell
of these
yeah.
Dudleys. It was just basically like, it seemed like a bunch of dudes in the locker room trying to crack themselves up, right? And that's probably what it
That's
was.
the best stuff.
But now you've got these two brothers
Yeah.
with their glasses and their camo, and I would say at the time at least the best tag team finish in professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Then you put them with Edge and Christian and the Hardy Boys, and you get they kind of brought ECW with them.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like there was a lot of that. You know, we have Mankind and Mick Foley got the hardcore world going, but Dudley Boys really kind of brought ECW with them to WWE, and in a WWE way. And we got tables, ladders, and chairs, and so I just think the two of them are just fantastic together, a fantastic team, and just iconic matches. So.
Yeah, I always say the best way to open a big show is a really fun tag match. And I believe the first time I ever saw the Dudley Boys was ECW is their first pay-per-view, Barely Legal, and the opening match was the Dudley Boys against the Eliminators. It was a short match, but it was a banger. And it just I was obsessed with that match. I watched it over and over and over and over. It was so good. I recommend anybody to go watch it if you haven't seen it. And it was just so much fun. And then, like you said, the Dudley Boys go on also multiple time world tag team champions. Genuinely one of the greatest tag teams ever. I'm glad they're on this list.
Shout out to all the forgotten Dudley brothers. Big Dick. Sign Guy Dudley.
Sign Guy, yeah.
Little Spike Dudley. Dances with Dudley. So many. So many. And it was just a team that started as a joke, and then they went, oh,
Maybe
this
there's
might be
something to
good.
this.
And it was great. Fantastic.
Yes, sir.
Phenomenal stuff. But James, your list is done.
I'm done.
You can no longer draft.
I feel
good. Sky, you
This
have your
one's
fourth and
tough.
final pick.
Yeah, this one's really tough. I've got two teams I really would love to put on this list. I only have two teams left on my list. I made a very short list. And God, man, I grew up a huge fan of one of these teams that's on my list. I'm not going to give them both away, but I grew up a huge fan of them. They inspired me, like, undeniably. I mean, it's such an inspiration to me, but they're not going to be the one I choose. And it's simply because the other team has, in my opinion, raised the level of tag team wrestling beyond reach for most people, I would say.
SCU.
You already know. I'm going FTR.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
That's, man, that is such a great pick. And you're right about raising the bar of tag team wrestling. They are so tantamount to where tag team wrestling came from in the 80s to pull it into the best of the best of that stuff into now. Just such an old school mentality of, again, we're never just pairing off and doing two singles matches. We are wrestling a tag team match. We are tag team specialists. I think FTR is a phenomenal final pick for you. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm curious what that other team is, though, but yeah.
We'll give an honorable
We'll
mention
find
at
out.
the
We'll
end.
find out unless Eric picks it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like someone created a time portal and they reached back into like the territories and they found the greatest upcoming tag team from some sort of, I guess, North Carolina territory.
Yeah.
And they said, you're coming with us to 2026. And FTR stepped through the portal and it was them. Big burly guys too, you know, you wouldn't question that they're pro wrestlers, like Arn Anderson types, where you're like, that's the biggest guy I've seen in a bar.
I've
ever.
always been a huge old school fan.
Yeah.
And the first time I ever saw these guys, I remember the first match I ever saw. They wrestled, it was in NXT, and they had this great match against, what was their name? American Alpha or something?
Yes.
Was
Yeah.
that the name of the team?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was them.
And I fell in love with them the first time I saw them. I was just like, this team, holy cow. Like,
Yeah.
I love, like, this is amazing. And then obviously when they came to AEW, I was very excited. At the time, I wasn't even a singles guy, or I wasn't a tag guy. I was doing singles, so I wasn't sure if I was going to get to wrestle them. They wanted to wrestle Frankie and I, and so we got to have a great match with them. And I wish I could have worked with them more because they are so good, man. And they've only gotten better. They're still getting better. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I agree with that. They also brought back, I love that you can watch it in every single tag match on the indies, all the way up to TV and everything. They brought back the spot where one guy goes around and hides behind the babyface and they're about to hot tag and they pull him off the apron. So like they can't make the tag. No one did that for 20 years and now everyone does it and you see it weekly.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
That is what kind of influence they have on the tag team wrestling division worldwide. So
Absolutely.
man, this is a crazy list, but there's only one pick left, and it's mine. And I don't like going last on this because it leaves a lot of people off a list. And we're going to have honorable mentions. Man, okay.
Did you just growl?
I'm going to keep it old school. Yeah, I'm going to keep it old school.
Aerial Express.
All the way from Bad Street,
Oh.
Atlanta, GA. The
Okay,
fabulous
okay,
Freebirds.
wow.
Luck, you were the better egg guy.
Michael
Everyone's
Hayes,
growling in my ear.
Buddy Roberts, Bam Bam Terry Gordy.
Yeah.
Just somebody had to be the foil. Somebody had to be the heel everywhere they went. And I don't know that there was another team that could do it the way that they did. When you were talking about the New Day and the way that they are sort of like filling out those like three corners of like really what you need. To me, that's what the Freebirds sort of crafted and did. They were so prevalent that they have the Freebird rule when it comes to tag titles. Like they had to name a piece of wrestling history after them that people implement today. Just sort of like, oh yeah, we're just doing the Freebird rule. They did that. That was them. That I just don't know that in the 80s, what wrestling was, especially like what NWA and WCW sort of like became, I don't know that without the Freebirds sort of like with that groundswell, without them, I just don't think that wrestling becomes what wrestling is. And they are, it's hard not to pick the Freebirds on this list for me.
Okay. It's an old school pick for sure. So, you know,
And that's a great list. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we all have, this is a battle.
I think we're going to see the age demo of our
agree.
audience
agree.
a little bit.
I
in
think-
who gets the votes.
I think this is the closest draft we've ever had.
I could see either of these. I don't think there's a clear.
There's no clear winner.
Winner
I mean,
here.
there's this is a really close draft.
Yeah.
But you need to get in the comments and you need to vote and let us know, because here are the final draft lists. Eric has picked the Rock and Roll Express, Edge and Christian, the Briscoe Brothers, the Fabulous Freebirds. Sky's picked the Road Warriors, Young Bucks, Harlem Heat, and FTR. James has picked the Hardys, the Steiner Brothers, the New Day, and the Dudley Boys. Guys, it's a hell of a list.
Mhm.
That
Honorable
is a-
mention was the Midnight Express.
Okay,
yes,
yeah,
agreed.
yeah,
On
yeah.
mine also.
Very
Absolutely
tough
on mine.
not to get them on this list.
Yep. I have SCU. I have SCU on my honorable mentions list. They
Love
were close
that.
to my fourth spot.
Love that.
They were close.
I had a couple that I was hoping I wouldn't have to use, and I'm glad
Mhm.
that I didn't. But I wanted to mention them because I do think that their tag teaming is iconic. Mega Powers,
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
right?
oh,
Not
that's a
necessarily an
good
iconic
one.
tag team,
Mega Bucks,
but but their
the
tag
original
teaming was
Bucks.
the
Yep.
Outsiders for similar reasons.
Oh, yeah.
Not necessarily
Yeah,
a great
yeah.
tag
Outsiders.
team, but
Yeah.
their teaming was iconic.
Yeah.
The Hart Foundation, obviously
Mhm.
an
Yep.
iconic tag team, but Brett just completely his solo
So
career.
big.
makes-
Yeah.
And then the Golden Lovers,
Oh, yeah.
the Golden
Yeah,
Lovers,
yeah, yeah.
the
Let's
Bushi and
also-
Omega.
yeah, don't
was
forget
huge.
the Fabulous Ones.
Yes.
Mhm.
Talk
Yeah.
about inspiring people. Fabulous Ones. Demolition.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Demolition,
You know, I already mentioned the Midnight Express. Different iterations of them as well. But
New Age Outlaws.
New Age
New Age
Outlaws. is-
Outlaws.
oh
Yep.
God, talk
Yeah.
about
Yep.
an over team.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Holy cow! I mean, they definitely. It sucks to not get them on the list, but
Yeah.
yeah,
But it's hard because there's so many, and I can like name matches from a lot of these teams and everything.
Yeah.
And New Age Outlaws, I don't know that I'm naming a lot of matches, but
yeah,
boy,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying
They
every
were
word of
just
that
a
entrance.
Super overact. Yeah.
Arn and Tully
oh,
is
yeah.
one that
Yeah,
was
yeah,
yeah.
so
Another one.
close to making that fourth spot
Yeah.
for me. As you know, even as like the Brain Busters and all that
Mhm.
stuff, but just those two together were so believable in that like believable guys who would just beat you up category, and I loved it.
Man,
But
we
guys,
might have to
what
do
a
like
list.
we might have to do an underrated wrestler list or
Ooh,
something, like the
yeah.
Arn Andersons of the world.
Arn
Yeah.
Anderson
Just
was
a
on
whole
one of my
draft
lists.
of Arn Anderson
Yeah.
type. This guy was never billed as the top guy, but he's the man.
Yeah,
Like,
the Arn Anderson Award
Yeah.
for
The Arn
underachieving.
Anderson underachieving.
Well, that because
No, no,
that's
no,
what they're saying. They
No,
never
no,
hit
no.
the heights
It's not
that they should have.
It's not underachieving.
Wow.
It's you know you got to play the role you're given, man.
All right,
you
Yep.
got to
okay.
play the role
I
you're
love it.
given. Yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah,
But
the Arn
guys, you got to
Anderson.
get in the comments one more time. Here's the list. It's all in front of you. If you're watching on YouTube, man, this was a good draft. I'm
Yeah.
excited. We're gonna have a guest next week. I kind of want to ask them who they would pick for their four, but we'll have to see. But James, where can people find us?
People can find us at Creating Character Pod on Instagram, on YouTube. That's the best way to communicate with us. There'll be a poll with this episode
Yes.
on Instagram. So go there, follow us, hit the poll. Let us know which list you love best. And also let us know if there's some teams we may have missed on. There's definitely teams we missed because we have some runner-ups that we didn't even fit into our list. So let us know what your list is. Do it on Instagram in the comments. Do it on YouTube in the comments. Subscribe, share, let other people know how much fun you're having here. 1 year, guys. 1 year. So,
And smash that like button.
yeah, smash the, or you can click it.
Yeah.
It's fine. Don't break
You
your,
can
don't break
follow
your
me
mouse.
at Scorpio Sky everywhere you go, Eric.
At Eric Bador on everything. But guys, we got to wrap this up. We're recording back to back this week. We have an
Yeah,
awesome guest for next week.
Yeah,
Who's
and
it
he's,
gonna
and
be?
he's waiting
Stay tuned.
outside.
He's waiting outside. We gotta go, everybody.
Okay,
All right,
James,
we'll see
we
you
All
gotta
right,
next
go.
week.
Come on.
Bye.